Hi first graders. We are going to get started with a new project today, and we are going to be working with the color wheel. Now, we're going to make our own color wheel, and then eventually we are going to fold it and turn it into a color wheel snowflake. And then what we will do is refer back to that color wheel throughout the school year as we talk more about colors. So groups of colors like the warm colors, the cool colors, the primary and the secondary colors. So I will do the painting demonstration in just a second. All right, so you all are going to get a piece of paper that looks like this. I will have this pre-drawn or copied for you, so you don't have to worry about drawing it yourself. And then what we're going to do is fill the color wheel in with the correct colors. Now, we're using watercolor paints, and when we use watercolor paints, our trays have all of the colors that are on the color wheel. However, I want you to know that you can mix colors. You can mix the primary colors to make the secondary colors. And that's what we're going to do for this project. So, everybody is going to have a color wheel that basically looks exactly the same because color wheels are always painted the same. So yellow always starts on top, and I am going to paint my color wheel using the yellow. And remember, you want to make, ooh, that was a dirty paintbrush. I'm gonna clean that out quick and then I'll show you how we're gonna do this. Sorry about that, guys. So you wanna get a puddle of clean water in your paint and swirl it around quite a bit. Now I've got a little bit of green in mine, but it's gonna work for this. And what you're going to do is just trace the edge like that so that you can keep the yellow where it belongs. Now, as you can see, I'm staying in the lines inside the circle, but on the outside, I'm not really making an effort to stay in the lines because I'm going to cut my circle out later, okay? Now, if you look at a color wheel that has already been done, and I have an example that should be hanging for you on my art cart, like I said before, it's always in the same order. So it's always yellow, orange, red, purple, blue, green. And if you look, it kind of makes like a triangle, and that's the primary colors. So yellow, red, and orange. Those are the only colors that we're using today for this project, which means that I am going to skip my orange section right now and paint with red. So I'll do the same thing. I'll get that puddle, I'll stir it really, really well, and then I'll paint my red here. Red has to go here. That's just the way that the color wheel works. Now, if your red looks a little bit pink, like mine does, just stir your paint in a little bit more, and it'll make it a little bit darker, okay? So I have my red done, and then the third primary color is blue. Now, I don't really care what blue you use. Just make sure that it looks like blue. This one right here, if you have a tray like mine, this one looks more like purple. So you want to stay away from that blue. Stir it up and paint your blue, being very careful to stay in the lines within the circle, yet you don't want to leave any white spaces. And again, it doesn't really matter if you go outside the lines on the outside of your circle. So now it looks like this. Now I'm ready to start mixing the secondary colors, okay? So we're going to use red, yellow, and blue to mix those colors. Now here's the cool thing about the color wheel. If you look at it, the two primary colors are going to tell you the answer as to what color goes here. So yellow and red I'm going to mix in this space, and that's going to give me orange. In this bottom space, I'll mix blue and red, and that's going to give me purple. And then in this last space, I'll mix blue and yellow to make the green. Now, you have to work a little bit fast when you're doing this, just because your, oh goodness, I keep getting that dirty green in my yellow. But you're gonna have to work kind of fast just because the paint dries sort of fast, and you don't really want that to happen. So, I'm getting my yellow ready. You're always going to use more of the lighter color. So yellow is my lighter color between the red and the yellow. So I'm gonna get it completely colored in with the yellow, and then I'm gonna go to my red. I'm gonna get some on my brush, but I'm only filling my brush with the red paint one time. And then since my yellow paint is still wet, if I just keep brushing over it, that will turn to orange, okay? Now, if you do get too much red, you can wash your brush off really good, and you can get some more yellow and try to lighten it up a little bit. It may work, it may not. You just have to be really careful with how much of the red you use, okay? So there's my orange. Maybe I want to go ahead and use my yellow and my blue, since I'm already using yellow, and paint that section in. And blue, just like with red, you have to be very careful with how much blue you use. In fact, I would use even less blue than I did red, because it really can overpower that yellow. So I just kind of dipped it in. I can always get more blue on my brush if I need to, but it's hard to get it lightened up if I get too much blue on. So that green's okay. I do think I want a little bit more blue in there to get it just a tinge darker. Like that, all right? And then for my last one, I will mix my red and my blue to get purple. So I'll use more of the red on this one because red is lighter than blue. And it now looks like that. Now we will have to wait until next time to cut this out and turn it into our snowflake, because we can't do that part when it's wet. So next time, that's what I'll show you. All right, if you have any questions, please let me know.